Alright, so I got this little 1-gallon fish tank with a aerator and a LED light from Walmart, pretty cheap. And this gets cloudy water within about 2 weeks. I'm getting sick and tired of cleaning the thing out. So I want to get a system set up to filter the water. And I got a good idea on how to do that with this system. So the way this aerator is set up is it's inside of a tube. The tube goes all the way down to a base that's underneath all these rocks that allows it to accumulate water. Alright, so the aerator is drawing the air bubbles up through that tube, which also draws the water up through that tube, and then it sucks their water down through the aquarium rocks and then back up through the tube, so it kind of circulates itself here. And I want to turn this fish tank into basically a water filter system. I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Okay, so I got some really fine sand here from the sand hills of central Kansas, and then some aquarium filter carbon, and then I'm going to reuse the aquarium rocks that are already in there and clean them off, reuse them. Alright, so first we're going to filter out all the big stuff from the sand using this old screen from a window. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to wash off my charcoal in this bug net. Alright, so here's a tube thing that the aerator goes into. I'm going to pour some water filter carbon into this part first. Make sure I cover up the entire base there. Dadgum mosquitoes. So now I'm going to fashion some coffee filters to go over the top of the carbon to separate the sand from the carbon. Alright, got my coffee filter layer down, and now I'm going to put the sand over it. Okay, now I got my nice layer of sand in there. Now it's time to put the fish rocks on top. Alright, now I got my fish rocks back in. So now I got a nice carbon, sand, fish rock filter there. And the bubbles from the aerator will rise and bring the water up with it, which will cause the water in the tank to filter down through all this and back up through the tube. So when I go to put the water back in, you want to put it gently down through this tube to keep the sand from getting mixed all up in the rocks, because I didn't put a filter barrier between the rocks and the sand. So here's the finished product, looking pretty clear right now. It was a little foggy when I filled it up the first time because I didn't clean the sand out, so I just sucked all the water out and refilled it, and now it's clear. So there you can see I got the carbon, sand, fish rock filter there. And let's see how long it lasts. Okay, week 1 down, and the fish tank looks as clear as it did the day that I filled it up. So I'd say this is working. The only thing going on down here that I don't like is the rocks are mixing with the sand. So maybe next time put a coffee filter layer on top of the sand so that the rocks don't mix down with it. But other than that, it's working great. Alright, week 2 down. Water's still looking fairly clear. There's some floaters in there. That's just because they've been swimming around like crazy and stirring stuff up. But so far so good. Well, week 3 down, and the water still looks as clear as it did when I changed it out. We even got ourselves a new little fishy there, and we put one of our plants inside to give him some shelter from the big guys, but the big guys don't seem to bother him, so we got ourselves a new little teeny tiny fishy, and the water's still as clear as can be. Alright, we're a couple days past week 4, and it's still looking as clear as it was the day that I put the water in. I had to add a little bit of water because it was getting too far down below the tube there, so there wasn't enough bubbles to create the water flow. So everything's still looking really good, and I'm very happy with the water tank filter that I made. Alright, week 5 down. The water's still looking as clear as it did the day that I changed it out, and we got ourselves a little crawdad in there that we caught at the pond. This teeny tiny guy back there, and everything down here is looking good. Just some sand settling on the edges, but other than that, everything looks pretty good. Still staying clear. Alright, week 6 down, and it still looks pretty good. It was foggy for about 3 days, but that's because the kid went a little crazy with the fish food. It even smelled when it was foggy, but it cleared itself up and the smell went away, so this filter is working pretty good. Alright, week 7 down, and it still looks clean. I'm going to stop making these videos and go ahead and post this, because I don't know how many more weeks this is going to go on, but you can ask for updates and see how many weeks it makes it, or if it's still going, and I'll let you know. But everything looks great. That crawdad is getting big. He's terrorizing the fishies, but our little fishy there is getting pretty fat. So alright, looks great.